This drone is something completely different, and in this video I'm gonna show you why. I've been testing the DJI Avata 360 for the past 3 months, and on almost every flight it surprised me again. We get a new gimbal with 2 cameras, which can either be used in 360 mode, like this, or in a single lens mode with 1 camera pointing forward. Both cameras have a 1/1.1 inch CMOS sensor and together allow for 8K video recording in 60 FPS HDR. When using that 360 mode, you only have to shoot once and decide the final perspective later. This allows you to create different kinds of shots like tiny planet, tunnel, ultra-wide field of view, and many more. It also supports D-Log-M color profile for better color adjustments. So the colors are solid, dynamic range holds up pretty well, and most importantly, it looks good for a 360 camera. The 360 footage isn't as sharp as a single lens camera drone, but in DJI Studio, you get great tools to get the most out of it, like different quality and stabilization settings. And with 360 cameras, a visible stitching line where both lenses merge can often be a problem. And in my early tests with the beta firmware, I really noticed that. But with the latest update, that changed. The stitching improved a lot, and with stitching correction in DJI Studio, it's basically gone. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. It looks great. And besides 360 mode, you can switch to a more traditional camera view, that single lens mode. It supports 4K in 60 FPS HDR, and you get 0 stitching and a cleaner image. Also, the gimbal literally works the same as on the Avata 2 in single lens mode, so it's great for action style shots. For classic cinematic shots, however, a traditional drone still is the best choice, because they feature a 3-axis gimbal which allows for these traditional drone shots. So let me know in the comments which mode you would use on this drone, the 360 mode or the single lens mode. Now let's talk about how this thing actually feels to fly, because this is where a lot of people might get confused. You can use this drone with the DJI RC2 or the RC-N3 as a usual controller, but you can also use it with the Goggles 3 or the Goggles N3 in combination with RC Motion 3. And only a few days ago, the FPV Remote Controller 3 also became supported. So you can use this one. But all the footage you see here in this video has been shot using the Goggles 3 and the RC Motion 3. DJI clearly designed this drone to be a creative tool. Right now, you've got normal mode and sports mode, no true manual or acro mode. I think with this kind of setup and weight, full acro would be pretty difficult to handle without freestyle focused motors. Maybe that's the reason, but what's interesting is you can still create FPV style shots, and especially with 360 video mode, that's lots of fun. Also, the goggles feel more immersive because you can access a very wide field of view. The maximum speed of the Avata 2 is 60 meters per second in sports mode, and that's the same speed that the Avata 360 can do. That's 58 kilometers an hour. And another feature that adds fun is head tracking. You can literally put on the goggles and look around while you're flying and explore the environment. So it adds another layer of immersion, and if you look into another direction then you're flying to, a small pop-up screen with the flight direction will show, so you know what's in front of the drone. In 360 mode, you get full omnidirectional obstacle sensing, and that works even though there are only 2 obstacle sensors in the front, 2 lidar sensors, and 2 sensors, lidar sensors down on the bottom. And still the drone is constantly aware of its surroundings, and that makes a huge difference when you're flying close to subjects. On top of that, you've got integrated propeller guards, so you can get much closer to people, objects, cars, whatever you're filming. And that's something you normally just wouldn't risk with a traditional drone. And these lidar sensors even work in extremely low light, so return to home, for example, in near complete darkness actually work reliably. And when you turn obstacle sensing off and hit small obstacles like thin branches or leaves, the prop guards just push them away. It's super simple. If you like the structure of this review so far, make sure to subscribe to see more and like to help me with the algorithm. A feature that also makes use of obstacle sensing is ActiveTrack and ActiveTrack 360. With that, you don't really need to frame your subject anymore. You just fly near it select it with a button on your controller, and the drone locks on. There even is an auto mode where the drone decides for flight direction, different camera movements and perspectives, which is fun to use and offers some really nice results. You can refine everything later in post because it records in 360. Transmission also is exactly what you'd expect from DJI. The O4 system gives you a super stable connection even in more complex environments. I really flew behind some rocks and trees and it stood really stable. Battery life is solid for what this drone is. It highly depends on your flight speed. For my use cases, I got around 80 minutes of flight time. I highly recommend you to get the Fly More combo that I've linked down below in the description, because if you have a drone like this, you want to fly it for more than 18 minutes a day, for sure. When it comes to editing these 360 videos, you've got different ways to do that. First, you can just use the DJI Fly app and edit your videos there. Or on your PC, you can use DJI Studio. There you can either export it as a normal video or again as a 360 video in 8K to continue editing in apps like Adobe Premiere or After Effects. DJI offers a DJI Reframe plugin for Adobe Premiere, which works great, but I recommend the GoPro Reframe FX plugin because it also adds motion blur and it's available in both Adobe Premiere and After Effects. Now, who is this drone for? If you want to create more dynamic, more unique shots, this drone becomes very interesting because it removes a lot of technical barriers and replaces them with creative freedom. So you just do one shot and you're able to get really, really creative with it. If you're a pure FPV pilot looking for full manual control, this probably isn't it, because without acro mode, it's not an upgrade from the Avata 2. If you want very high quality cinematic shots, a normal drone still is the best choice. So the Avata 360 doesn't replace current drones. It gives you something unique, something new you didn't have before. All 360 videos in this review have been shot in 8K 30 FPS or some in 60 FPS. I've used D-Log-M and I've used the best stitching mode in DJI Studio, including the stitching correction. I've exported them as a panoramic 8K video and used it in Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects, where I also color graded them. All videos have been edited and exported in a 30 FPS timeline and 30 FPS export settings. Now, in my previous Avata 360 video, I've seen so many of your comments and I tried to include all the answers here in this video. But now I'm curious, do you want to get this drone? What's your favorite feature? Or actually, which DJI drone currently is the best use for you? I'm curious, let me know down in the comments. Happy flying. If you like this video, subscribe, so I hopefully see you in the next one.